Howdy YouTubies, scratch builders and kit bashers, welcome back to my channel. My name's Paul. If you've seen part 1 of this video, this is part 2. First one was it was a bit of a challenge. As I've stated in some of my previous videos, some people just have a mind's eye idea of what they want to achieve. I, on the other hand, am inspired by what's in front of me, the things I have hold of. And for this build specifically, I'm going to thank my neighbours. They contacted me after seeing what I'd been doing regarding scratch building, and they just had a kitchen replaced. And they said, "You want to have a look?" And I thought, there's probably not going to be that much in a kitchen. What is it? Cupboards and a worktop, a sink, and then I thought, oh, what about the door handles? And I have been a carpenter in the past. I have fitted kitchens, but it just didn't occur to me. Anyway, I went around and had a look, and they had lots of hinges, but not just that, they had soft close mechanisms, and a soft close mechanism is one of these. And it's interesting in its own right looking at it, but when I look at it, and some of you might agree, I see an Ed209 leg from Robocop in the the 1980s version. So I was immediately inspired to create some kind of walking mech. Now, I'd already talked about creating a mech anyway. That's what I've been building up to. My three previous, if you haven't seen the videos, this one made out of Tupperware, they were just like let's get going, let's make something, let's see if I catch the bug, which I well and truly have. The last one being, what else did I make? Yeah, the last video was the pod racer. Take a look at that video as well. Really enjoyed making that one, but then ruined it with a paint job. But this one is so far been my most challenging, my most frustrating, but ultimately by the end I think my most rewarding. I was going to show you a lot of my process, my thinking process, but another time, another place for that. I think this one, I just want to get to the end and show you what I achieved. So joining on from the last video, my part 1, I ended up with a pair of legs and a body that I thought I was going to use, which is an old mobile home telephone base. But I moved away from that completely. And what I haven't shown here is I ended up completely stripping the legs, pulling them all back to the basic individual parts. I wasn't happy. I say initially on my first video I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to see all this detail internally, instead of having a nice smooth front. As I hummed and hawed, looked at it, spun it around, I spent hours putting those legs together. There's only 3 parts. There's the foot, the shin, and then the upper, what would be, I think, the femur. I just couldn't get it right. I wasn't happy with it. It was too static. You see, I think when I think of Robocop itself was brilliant. When he came out, what was Peter Weller, I think the actor's name. But when Robocop was first seen, it was amazing. But when Ed209 emerged and was revealed, that was fantastic. The detail in that, the expert level of attention to detail, the motion on how that moves, the movable parts, the posability of it, absolutely struck me as being real as a child. And I think that was the most impressive thing. Forget the build, forget the film itself, just that thing walking towards you. And I often see it in a lot of other people's builds where they might have created a figure. They've got fantastic attention to detail. The use of parts that they've done, either scratch building or kit, and then the finish and paint work. But some of them, and I'm not picking any names here, some of them just are lacking that pose, just to give the body a bit of weight, just a gesture of movement. Some of them are just a little bit too static. And I realized after my part 1 video that the path I was going down was too parked. It was too parked. Nothing was happening. There was no threat, you know, threat of advancement or threat of movement. So I took it apart. I built it all back together. I'm very, very happy with the finish. The painting is going to be, I'm going to really try and do a good job on the painting. I'll let you know. It's not going to be in this video, so this will be a 3-parter. And I'd love to hear your comments on it. Any feedback, any thoughts, anything I could have done different. I think I'm an impatient scratch builder. I've been impatient. I'm generally impatient creatively as an artist. My paintings aren't necessarily rushed, but I love the impressionistic style, which allows me to just make something that looks, that could be quite abstract, but has an effect, creates an emotive effect. So I should have more details on the feet and on the toes. There's probably I could have some more wires, definitely some more interesting greeblies going on, but I don't actually have that many. But I've got 3 VCRs that I need to take apart. I hope you like this one, guys. Like I said, my most ambitious to date. The first time I've really tried. You know, say my first models, I felt like they were more just exercises in. This is an exercise in get that piece and just glue it to that and see what happens. This one really had me thinking. If you're still here, I'm happy you are. If you haven't already, hit that little sub button there, bottom right. Yeah, bottom right. Give the video a like. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.